I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness is yours and it's mine. I am loved and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? Let me hear you say, all is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. In the Spirit, I am fed by the divine. I am one with all that is. My soul is free from time. I am blessed and so are you. And don't it feel good to know all is well? Don't it feel good? All is well. Just to know that my soul is free from time. All I got to do is change.
Welcome. My name is Linda Connolly. I am a licensed spiritual practitioner for Science of Mind. And my license is held here at SAC CSL. I have been transitioning to Canada, but I want to let everyone know that my home, my license is still Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. It's where I landed, it's felt home, and that's not going to change. So I will be the outreach practitioner in Canada, because we take our teachings, right, and we spread it to the world. So how cool is that? I can spread our teachings and connections to Sacramento in the far reaches of northern Canada. Like, wow. And I was so glad to hear that I could still hold my license here, because to me, Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living is my spiritual home. You're my spiritual community, and that's never, ever going to change. You hold a special part in my heart. So for the little good old housekeeping stuff, so we built our website. We built a website for everyone to connect together. Any information that you want about classes, events, in person, anything to do with Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living, please go and check out our website. It's beautiful. It's always changing. And that is at www.saccsl.org. You can even go there to donate, as we'll find out later. But everything about our center is there. And please go check us out on YouTube, like us, because the more likes and followings we get, the more people we can reach, because more people will be drawn. So, and I want to thank our YouTube audience for tuning in and following us that way. Yes, now the invocation. So as we tune in, connect to that breath, the breath of life, we are connecting to the one source, the one living presence that is the creator of all creation. It expresses itself through its creations. It experiences itself in form. So that is the gem, the treasure that is in each and every one of us. For it is all that it is, we are. And everything we are, it is. So as it is infinite in its wealth, prosperity, creativity, health, joy, peace, love, that is the treasure for us. That is that spark in every cell, every neuron, every synapse in our human form. It is that spark, that light, that electricity that is there. And so when we tune into that spark of prosperity, of health, and wellness, all that is good, that is the living presence. That is our living spirit. It is all that is good and only all that is good. And it is this discovering and of this treasure and taking each one of those pieces out, the piece of treasure of health and wealth and prosperity and love. That is what draws us to these teachings, to discover that, to take each piece out and connect to it, dive into it, explore it in all the many dimensions and wonders. And I am so thankful for these teachings. I am so thankful for each and every person here today that will connect us through YouTube, that all those that are in search of that truth that is inside each and every one of us. I am so thankful for Ruth, our production manager, for all that she does. I'm thankful for all those behind the scenes and front of the scenes that make this gathering possible, for the board members that just do all the things and devote the time and that they do. And I am so thankful for Reverend Sharon Dunn-Alberg, that I know is going to be a divinely downloaded message today that will land exactly within each and every one of us, exactly where it needs to land. I am so thankful for all this and more as we just breathe into that spark, the spark that is us, and release it by saying, and so it is. And now for the readings. The grandeur of life is known by the few when it should be known by the many. The majority of people are half healthy, half wealthy, half happy, and half creative. Raymond Charles Barker, The Power of Decision. The mind is the crucible in which the ideal is transmuted into the real. Charles Fillmore, Prosperity. We become attracted to something that is greater than our previous experience by first embodying the atmosphere of our desire. Ernest Holmes' Creative Mind and Success. So now please stay tuned for our music by Leah, and that will be followed by Reverend Sharon Dunn-Alberg.
At the start of any given day, there is mystery available. There is a game waiting for an open heart to say yes. Here I am, I'll play. And if we're smart, we'll listen to the way, and all the misery that held us down, we'll let it fade. Let it be outshined by a simple spark of a life that's waiting to be made. It's waiting to be made. What will you make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? What will you see? What will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide what you will make? At the start of any given day, there is history and poetry. There is a play, but you're not in the audience. You are the star. So get out there and say what you will make. What will you make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? What will you see? What will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide just what you will make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? What will you see? And what will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide what you will make?
Don't you love her? That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Well, good morning. Good morning. As Linda so beautifully shared, I am Reverend Sharon Dunn, your senior minister at the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. And I'm so glad to be here. I'm pretty much filled up with love for my community today. And why is that? Why is that? Last night, what a night. Raise your hand like this if you were there and loved it. You know what the Van Workhams did? Now, the Van Workhams, Reverend Patricia Van Workham is our associate minister, my partner, my teacher, and such a loving human being, married, right, to our poet. That I say our poet because we own him. We claim him as ours, although he belongs to the world. And what happened for me at this party last night, Reverend Patricia, I hope it's okay to say it was your 70th, and Evan, her son-in-law's 40th. So we had some milestone birthdays, and we celebrated anniversary. We celebrated each other. It was just amazing. But when I go to a party, sometimes, do you ever go to a party and you really don't talk to anybody? You kind of just, it's loud and it's like, I don't know, you're having fun, yes, but it isn't the kind of party we had last night. The kind of party we had last night was a party where you could look into the eyes of the person you're talking to as if that person was the very person you wanted to see. And you could listen and check in and, yes, hug. I touched human beings. It was so amazing. I touched human beings and hugged human beings. And the sisters that join us on video every week from Kansas, I touched them. They were there. It was just so amazing. And to look into their eyes and see them and sit with them and just soak it in. But then, yes, the food, it was a potluck delight. There was so much food that was so extraordinary. It was food and fun and croquet and laughing and for me, because that was my community, it was deeply heartfelt. I was like a washing machine, just turning and turning with all these emotions of joy and connection and belonging. And I don't want to get all choked up here, but then we all sat around and listened to our poet. Unplugged, but we were like an audience. We were like entertained by live poetry. And I was so moved by all of it. I couldn't help noticing that I was present. Do you know that idea of being present? Being in your body, in the place your body is, like fully. It was living everyday wonder. It was living in wonder. And Doug Van Workum, our poet, even offered to stop for a moment and see if there was anybody that wanted to share anything about the poetry, anything that came up for them or us or me. And it happened so fast, I couldn't really formulate a lot of what I was feeling. But I remember hearing this one verse, and I knew I wanted to say something, but by the time I could figure out what that something was, he was already on to another poem. And so I went up to him afterwards and I said, you know that poem, that thing you said, that thing that was like kind of like, and it was like this, but it had something to do with this. And he literally this morning found the verse for me. And I want to read it to you because it was so impactful. And he gave me permission to modify the gender. But it was so deep for me. He said, when I see all that he can accomplish in a day, I'm amazed. And when we are alone, safe, and talk of intimate things, I secretly regret all that I'm still so afraid to say. But no matter what, it all adds up because that's where I need to be when I want to learn to love. Okay, I got to stop here with the accolades because I won't be able to, get any further in my talk. But thank you for an evening I will never forget, and for being the people that you are, constantly bringing our community together in ways that move me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so today's talk is called Let It Flow. And not the tears, I hope. Not the tears, because I really am full of joy. And we are working with a monthly theme of finances. It's been really fun. And an annual theme of living everyday wonder. So the idea of let it flow, I came up with this idea that the natural abundance of universal flow, which is another name for spirit, another name for God, right? Or whatever you want to call that thing itself, as Ernest Holmes, our teacher, our founder, refers to spirit, the thing itself. The natural abundance of universal flow. I know it's a long name for spirit, but if the natural abundance of universal flow is a hose, our experience of it then is to get our foot off the hose and let it flow freely in our life. And even greater is to know it as a fire hose and not be afraid of its power. This is my life. This is what, take your damn foot off the hose. And are you with me? Are you with me? Oh my goodness. So Ernest Holmes says, here and now, we are surrounded by and immersed in an infinite good. Yes? How much of this infinite good is ours? All of it, he says. And how much of it may we use? As much of it as we can embody. Yes, yes. So the principle I'm using today from our Declaration of Principles, which is written by Ernest Holmes, which is what we believe. And he says, we believe in the eternality and the immortality and the continuity of the individual soul. This is the part I'm focusing on today, forever and ever expanding. In other words, the more we're able to take our foot off that hose, we expand our ability to use this power. And what do we use it for? We use it for good. We do good in the world, like our beautiful outreach practitioner who will be in Canada spreading everything she's learned here in Sacramento, everywhere she goes. She does that already. So the three things we're going to look at today is belief, attraction, and desire. And remember last week when we talked about extravagance, God is extravagance? Remember the definition I'm using is the lack of restraint in the use of resources. So we want to be extravagant. We want to get rid of all the old ideas that being extravagant is a bad thing. Being extravagant is us having the lack of restraint in using all of the principles of the one. So we think of belief. When we think of belief, we think that we live in a universe with an extravagant expression of life energy. Yet many times we only allow a small trickle into our lives. Is that something we've been in the habit of at times? Using just a trickle? Our consciousness is the law of our life. Our consciousness is the infinite mind. Our consciousness is spirit in its fullness. It's not spirit and me. It is I am that is. And I know this is a concept we learn in foundations. In fact, we're teaching foundations right now, and we are not asking for something from someone in our prayer. We are knowing within us that it's already done for us, by us. This is rocket science. This is rocket science at times. Yeah, sometimes I am begging and beseeching. Anyone ever begging and beseeching? Or how about this one? The universe is sending me this. Nay, 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 nay. The universe is not sending me this. And we're going to talk a little about that today. So I would love you, if you're here with us today and you're not showing your video, I would love you, if you can, to get on your video, because I want to do a little thumbs up, thumbs down together. I'm going to ask a few questions. And if you agree, I want you to put thumbs up. And if you don't agree, I want you to put thumbs down. Will you do that? Can we do this together? You can stay muted, but if you're showing your video, we'll be able to see thumbs up, thumbs down, because we want to know what fills our consciousness. What fills our consciousness? Do we have beliefs and rules about what God wants? Do we believe money? Here's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Do we believe money is as sacred and spiritual as everything else? Do we believe money is as sacred and spiritual as everything else? A lot of thumbs up. Right on. Do we believe, there it is, Jim. Yep. Do we believe we have value and worth and are entitled to live well? I like that little audience at Reverend Patricia's house. Hi, Gee, Kathy, Diane. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. I can't stand it. Do we believe we shouldn't live well because others aren't? Two thumbs down. You know, there are times in my life that I have damped down who I am around people struggling. And when you damp down who you are, you have to understand that it affects your belief system. Do we hold back the energy of life in order to fit in, or keep our heads down and be invisible as we may have learned in childhood? And I'm going to go like this, because to be honest, I have had times when I have done that. Do we believe that some God will punish us and take our good if we get too big for our britches? Do we believe there's an ebb and flow to the infinite ever-present supply? Sometimes I only can give. I'm uncomfortable with receiving. And you pay me to be your minister. Do we believe we can't prosper in bad times? Do we get rid of money as soon as it comes, or do we cling and hoard out of fear it will go away? What are we telling the universe about how to show up for us? Remember, The universe shows up for us by invitation only. By invitation only. And I think that's where we might get confused, that we think the universe is doing to us, because we know that there's a relationship to the greater good that is ours. The universe, though, is always saying, drum roll, please, yes. The universe is always saying, yes, 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 oh, baby, yes. The restriction is never in the universal flow. It is always within us. Yikes. So I have a story. It's a very short story, but I really like it a lot because it reminds me of last night. It reminds me, it kind of describes me at the party last night. It's a story by Thomas Merton, who was a monk and a priest and an author. He says, in Louisville, at the corner of 4th and Walnut, in the center of the shopping district, I was suddenly overwhelmed with the realization that I loved all these people, that they were mine and I theirs, that we could not be alien to one another, even though we were total strangers. It was like waking from a dream of separateness, of spurious self-isolation in a special world. This sense of liberation from an illusory difference was such a relief and such a joy to me that I almost laughed out loud. I have the immense joy of being a man, a member of a race in which God himself or self became incarnate. As if the sorrows and stupidities of the human condition could overwhelm me. Now that I realize what we all are. And if only everybody could realize this. But it cannot be explained. There is no way of telling people that they are all walking around, shining like the sun. Now, I'm not talking about the people that are of like mind. I'm not talking about our friends. I'm not talking about being in a safe place where everyone kind of feels the same way. I'm talking about everyone. As I say weekly when I watch the news, because I love watching the news, because the news is such a prayer request. And sometimes if I run out of things to do, I watch the news because there's so much in me to pray for so that I can see everyone in the news as this shining light. Now, that means that I have to look through the haze of behavior. I have to look through the haze of character. I have to look through the haze of intention. And only when I look through the haze of personality can I see that they are all, that we are all, that I am walking around shining like the sun. So attraction, as we recognize that our consciousness is the creative element in our lives, totally connected with an infinite source of good, we realize that our experience of prosperity comes from within. Now listen to this. This blows my mind. I have been teaching the law of attraction for a long time. In fact, in Foundations, as Reverend Patricia and I know, next week, this week, Tuesday, is the law of attraction. Listen to this idea. Many people talk about the law of attraction, but attraction means we believe that our good is out there. And we need to attract it in here. But this is commonly erroneous as thinking the sun goes around the earth. While it seems that way from an earth-centric perspective, it isn't really true. So the real law is the law of radiation. What we radiate or express out then becomes our experience of life. The real law is the law of radiation. What we radiate or express out then becomes our experience of life. Is that wonderful? I'm thinking, wow, that is a different perspective, is it not? Is it not? And if I have a dysfunctional belief about wealth, that is radiates out and is reflected back. And so the law of attraction then happens after the law of radiation. And this is kind of different, isn't it? I love it. I mean, I really love the idea. So if I'm not living in true prosperity, which Raymond Charles Barker, one of our ministers and authors and teachers, and describes as the ability to do what you want to do at the instant you want to do it. This is from The Power of Decision. So if I'm not living in true prosperity, which he describes as the ability to do what you want to do at the instant you want to do it. And I was talking to Larry about this because he's like, he gets so shocked when he changes his mind and his life changes instantly. Have you ever been there where you change your mind and all of a sudden, boom, your life changes? Because there's no time and space in God. This is quantum leap. He says, then I need to consciously connect with my infinite self. So if I'm not living in true prosperity, I must connect my infinite self. And I love this topic that at the first day of the month, when I opened the theme for October, I went, really? Oh, okay. What will I do with this? And I am not the same person I was on October 1st. So all of this and me all month long, this enacts us then that the divine nature itself, which encounters no restrictions, it is extravagant. It creates what it chooses to create when it chooses to create it. So Sharon, no restrictions, creates what she chooses to create when she chooses to create it. We are here to enact divine nature in human form. You ever do a resume? You ever do the resume? In the old days, you would have an objective on the top of your resume. We don't do that anymore. I guess it's not hip. But we used to do an objective for the resume, which kind of looked at the job we're applying for and said, we want to get that job, right? Well, the objective in our resume for life is that we are here to enact the divine nature in human form. I synthesize it down to, we're here to love. And that means we're here to move out of the way anything and everything unlike it. You might think that's easy. Well, one more illustration before we get to our last, before we get to desire. So in Zen, a monk will be told that, are you there, Doug? Are you listening? This is a good one. In Zen, a monk will be told that in order to be enlightened, they have to eliminate all desire from their life. They will go off and spend 5 or 10 years working to release all desires. Finally, they return to their teacher and announce that they have succeeded. The teacher will nod and smile and ask, why did you do that? They will come to the realization that they have a desire to be enlightened. So sadly, they go off to release the desire to be enlightened, only to realize that they are still working in the field of desire. Eventually, they awaken to the realization that desire is the motivating energy of the universe, moving all forward. They release their desire to release their desires. Yes? Our desires are our motivating factor. Our heart's desire is our great asset. Our heart's desires are our great assets. It's the intention that we talk about. True heart's desire guide us to what wants to be expressed through us. Too often, however, we shut down, turn them off, and stop listening for 2 reasons. 1, we have no idea how to bring them about. And number 2, we believe desire itself to be bad or wrong. Anybody relate to that? The universe will not desire through us without also providing the means to accomplish that desire. And we may not always see how. I, as you know, say weekly, we don't have to know how God does God's work. We simply know it does. And if we don't have to know how, well, that simply is how I got the name Howie for my God. I just let God do God's work. We may not know how. Don't let that stop. Knowing how is not our business. I always love the question. Anytime I'm anywhere, I love to ask the question, is this my business? Is this their business? Or is this God's business? Isn't that wonderful to just navigate through life? In every situation, circumstance, and condition, we can ask ourselves, is this mine? Is hers? Or is this Spirit's? I can let go of a lot of nosy business. I can let go of the distractions that are in my way of my heart's desire. I definitely can get distracted. Any thumbs up? Squirrel! Squirrel! Our business is to be clear on what and stand in that vision in faith and desire as the universe provides the means. And Charles Fillmore, who's the founder of Unity, refers to this energizing polarity as wisdom and love. We have the wisdom of the vision, the wisdom of clear thinking, unfettered by old dysfunctional beliefs. Oh my goodness. I need that t-shirt. I need that t-shirt. I am unfettered by old dysfunctional beliefs. And we have the power of love, desire, for the idea that we want to express. Remember, when we have an intention. It must be coupled with love and be good for all. It's not magic. We don't get to think ill for someone and have that happen. Thank goodness God has, God kind of figured out things. God's like, well, okay, I'll send those humans down to earth. This will be so much fun. I cannot wait to see what they do. But I need to put some brakes on. One of them is that what they're intending has to be coming from a loving place if I'm going to be invited to the party. We cannot. We can wish ill on people, and what that is a boomerang. That has an instant boomerang effect back into our lives, not others. So you can get on the news and you can be that all you want. And that is going to affect your bank account. That is going to affect your health. And that is going to affect your wealth. That ain't going to do anything for the person you're pointing at. And what do we say about pointing? When you point, 3 fingers come back to yourself. Oh my God, I have such a good time being me. So as we let both expand, the desire and love, our experience of a life of joyful creation expands. Desire, boom. So in conclusion, and I want to thank everybody here for being here and being with me, because I am so in love with you. I walked through that party last night with my chair. Thank God it was a folding chair, because I would sit down with someone and then I would pick up my chair and walk to another place and set my chair down. I wanted to be with everybody. I wanted my chair to sit down with everybody. I was so happy last night. I was so happy because you all are my intention. You all are my desire. You all are me answering the call of spirit itself as my life. Let's just leave it there. Let's pray. I do know the power of love. Right here and right now, it is flowing literally through my heart and my body and my mind and my eyes. I accept the immense gifts and gratitude for this community. I know that this idea of creating a world that works for everyone is happening right before my eyes, my heart, and my body. I know I am a minister of God's work, and I know that for everyone here. Each and every one of us, we are ministers of God's work. And I bless this, and I accept the blessings of it. I see it everywhere. I see it through Doug Van Workum's poetry. That every word are like arrows to my heart, waking me up. What is possible? I am so in love. I am so love. I am love. I know that for each and every one of us. I know that for this community, I know the wealth and abundance and the growth and the joy of this community. And please affirm with me as we say, and so it is. Ashe. Amen. Shalom and peace.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free. As I continue walking in this mystery, I surrender to my greatest, highest good. I release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am grateful every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am kinder every moment, every day. I'm more loving every moment, every day. I surrender every moment, every day.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. What a great, great message. Thank you, Reverend Sharon. And now we are offering you an opportunity to give, and giving financially is a sacred service. And when we give, we activate and increase our own flow of good. So this spiritual practice gets easier as you notice the increase in your abundant life. Giving to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living supports our vision, mission, and purpose. Go to our website and define our post office box and mail us a personal check if you choose to do so, or you could donate from our menu on our website for PayPal or credit card. And we appreciate your tax-deductible support. Thank you. And also, there's an address on our website to send the check. And now our gift to you for the week is, if you remain silent, we'll say this together. Abiding by the law of circulation and in heartfelt gratitude, I affirm that I live in a creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out as me, expressing as the ever expanding infinite good, and so it is. And we request that we invite you to send us your prayer requests, for we love to pray, and we pray together on your request during the week. And there's our website, www.saccsl.org. Thank you. And now for the latest news. And we're meeting in Zoom and in person and on Zoom the first, third, and fifth Sundays, and only on Zoom on the second and fourth Sundays at 10:30 a.m. And our website right here and on our website shows our address as well. So please join us on those dates. And now for Busy Hands and Warm Hearts, we have hosted by Reverend Patricia Van Wilcom, and that's on the second and fourth Mondays of the month at 9:30 a.m. Bring your beverage and any craft that you're working on, and we have great conversation, and it's fun. And call the number below to RSVP for the address. Thank you. And now all the proceeds go towards Patrick Conley Audiovisual Memorial Fund, and it's our auction to benefit this fund. And it's November 20th, after Sunday service, of course, at the Community Center at Citrus Heights. And bring whatever you would love to donate, like art, jewelry. It has everything right there on the screen. Whatever you can donate, like I would appreciate, I would love to donate a session, practitioner session, and acupuncture, coaching, hair, styling, guitar lessons. Wow, it's all possible. Yes, please join us for that. And this as well is affirmation for the week from us. Universal abundance flows freely in my life. And yes, it does. And now for a benediction. Ah, my goodness. Gratitude, gratitude for the Sunday service today, for all those that participated, and all those who are here with us today. We're so grateful for the message. And we just know that we keep our desires and we just go with the flow, and we just let go and let God. And we give thanks for this and bless everyone. And so it is. Thank you for joining us, and stay safe. And for fellowship, please join us and enjoy our closing song with Patty. Thank you.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind.